What is happening, YouTube? Monster here, and I am playing First Descendant. And today I want to make a beginner guide to First Descendant. And in this guide, I'll be talking about like a lot of different things. So I want to talk about like trophy-wise, like how you could get the platinum. I want to talk about like the fastest way to clear the campaign, and like what you generally should be doing if you intend to play this game long term, what you generally should be doing to progress your account, right? And some general tips and tricks. And yeah, so I know this game's out a while, and there's probably like hundreds of beginner guides out there, and that's good. But remember that these type of games, they go through updates, and as they go through updates, they change a lot of things. They change a lot of drop rates. They change a lot of mechanisms in the game. So sometimes making a beginner guide too early in the game, it could get outdated. So hopefully, the game has gone through a lot of updates. We're currently in season one of the game, and yeah, so hopefully this guide helps you and it's accurate and stuff like that. So let's get into the guide. You've now started First Descendant. What do you do? Well, first you're going to have to select your beginning descendant, right? So for me, I selected um, this chick here, her, right? So it doesn't matter who you select, right? So you got the booby, you got the cutie, which is this guy, and you got the freaky, which is this guy. So whichever one floats your boat, you choose whichever one matters. Um, if you're really serious about farming this game, you're not really going to stick with these guys anyway, right? Right? So just pick anyone you want. It doesn't matter. I picked this ice girl, but you can pick anyone you want, right? So that's that. After you pick your descendant, what do you do? Well, when you pick your descendant, you're going to start the game on normal mode, and you're going to make your way through this story arc right here, this entire map right here, the beginning map, and you're going to eventually unlock this girl right here who's on screen. This is the ultimate version of her. You're just going to get the regular version of her called Bunny. Now, Bunny is one of the best characters in the game when it comes to farming and clearing content, right? So you get your Bunny, switch over to her immediately, and dump the beginning character. You're not going to use that character ever again. That descendant ever again, you ain't going to use that again. So you're on Bunny now. What do you do on Bunny? Well, first thing you want to do is get some mods, right? Ignore this. It's just ignore that. Ignore that. Wait, did I get it back to normal? Oh, I could have sworn there was a way. All right, irrelevant. Okay, so you're not going to have all of these items, all of these symbols on your guys because you just started. But the reason why I came here is because the only thing you want to focus on in the beginning when you get your Bunny is defense and where is it? HP. Let's go all. Alright, you want to focus on defense and HP. Max out these two things as soon as you get your Bunny. Max them out. Right? Spend all of your resources in these two things. They'll go a long way. You'll always be using them. They'll always find a place. Defense kind of drops off in the end game, but in the early game, it's pretty useful. So the fact that it carries you to the end game makes it worthwhile. Although in the end game, you're not really going to be using defense as much, but you can invest in these two. Don't worry about her skills too much, because in the beginning of the game you're not really worried about damage so much. You're more concerned about survivability. So you're going through the game, you max out these things, you're able to survive, you keep playing, and eventually you're going to get something called a thunder cage. This, my friend, use it. This is one of the best guns in the game for mobbing. use it. So you equip this thunder cage on your bunny and you begin pushing the content. You begin pushing the content. So let's say you're pushing the content and you get stuck. So let's say we go to Vesper. I want to change it to normal, apply. So let's say we're on this map and we get stuck on a stage on this map. Right? So when you load into this map, if you press the map icon, you see these little dots. Those are the players on the map, right? So what you can do, what I did, because I was mainly solo playing, I had no teams, I had no friends to play with at the time when I started this game. What I did was I piggybacked on other players. So you see this guy out here who is who's just out here. He's probably doing the mission. So if I run across there and I shoot an enemy in this mission, I suddenly become a part of this mission, and now I could kind of piggyback on this guy. So now both me and this guy, we're working on the same mission and we clear it together. So you understand what I'm saying? It's like if you're stuck, you're going to need help. How do you get help? Well, there's multiple ways of getting help. You could join a Discord for this game, which I recommend. I don't have a Discord. I'm currently part of one. But you could join a Discord and you could ask the people in there for help, right? And they could carry you. If you ask me for help and I got the time, I don't mind carrying you through the story, right? So that's one way. But let's say you have no friends, there's nobody around, you have nobody to play with, then this is your best bet. You load into a map, you look for people playing on that map. Let's say you load into the map and there's nobody playing on that map. So let's try to go to another map, right? Right. So now we're here on this map. There's one other guy standing here with me. Where is he? Right, here he is. Right? One other guy. But there's generally nobody else on this map clearing content, or at least there's a guy down here. But generally, sometimes, the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes you load into a map and there's nobody there. Don't try to do the content on your own. If you're struggling, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to stop playing the game. So what you simply do is you keep bouncing from map to map, you keep loading from map to map, and when you load back into the map that you're on, hopefully the game puts somebody in there with you, right? So when I played Fantasy Star Online, they had rooms, and in these rooms had certain amount of players. So you could be playing with a group of people in this room, in room 1, but in room 2 there's a completely different group of people. I'm not sure if this game works on the same system where that sometimes when you load into the map, you can load in with different groups of people, because there were many times I loaded into a map like this and there was nobody, and then I went back to the central hub, and then I loaded back into the map and there were people there. So I kept doing that until I got people to play with, and I used those people to kind of push through the content of the game, right? As a single free to play, don't got no friends, kind of player, that's what you got to do. You got to ride those backs. You got to ride those booties, right? Anyway, so let's go and try load into a map again to see if let's load back into a map we were in before. So this map had people in it. Let's load back here, see if there's more people or if they're gone. Right? But generally that's the idea, right? So you're pushing through the content, you're finding little groups to play with. Let's say you join a Discord server. Oh, so now there's 4 people on the map. 1, 2, 3, 4 people on the map, and now I'm here. So I think when I loaded in here earlier, there were only like two people. Now there's 2 more people, right? So you see what I mean. If you're struggling and you can't push the content, all you simply need to do is keep refreshing the map until you see people to play with, and then you just run and play with them and clear the content with them, and you push through the story. So if you're focused on progression in this game, if you're focused on not missing out on the content of this game, I recommend you push through normal mode as quickly as you can. Do this trick, push through normal mode as quickly as you can. So now I want to talk about something concerning the descendants themselves. So you have Bunny. What is Bunny? This game is divided into two main categories. It's divided into mobbing, right? Which is farming and killing mobs, and bossing, which is killing bosses. Those are the two main categories of this game. Some people like to add a third option called dungeons. I think that's irrelevant because at the end of a dungeon, there's a boss. So you could be killing all the mobs in the dungeon, but if you can't kill the boss, you can't complete the dungeon. So dungeons, I would classify that as bossing, right? So there's bossing and there is mobbing. Bunny is a mobbing character. She's good at mobbing. She's good at killing all of the little bugs that spawn on the map, right? I don't think I need to show you an example of that, but I'll look for something to kill with Bunny so you get the idea. So this is Bunny. I have this mod on. Let me take it off. Oh, no, I don't have the mod. So good. Right, so let's say I'm with Bunny and I don't want to go by these guys. I just want to find... Right, but the idea is, you see that shockwave? It kills everything that touches it. I don't even have to fire my gun. I could clear content in this game without even firing my gun. That is Bunny for you in a nutshell. Right, she clears content. She doesn't even have to fire her gun. You just run around, you shock things. I wish I could get a better example right now, but I am not. Ow. But you gotta watch out for that. That's her main weakness, right? She shocks stuff and it blows up and kills her, right? But yeah, so she is a mobbing character. She's good at killing the little bugs that spawn around you and stuff like that, right? So what I see people doing is they pair Bunny with the Thunder Cage. You don't want to do that because the Thunder Cage is also a mobbing weapon. So you have a mobbing character with a mobbing weapon. That's too much mobbing. You're double dipping in one stat. It doesn't make sense because you need to be able to clear both aspects of the game. So how do you do that? Well, simple. You pair a mobbing character, a mobbing descendant with a bossing gun, and that's where this comes in. Now, you are not going to have the Enduring Legacy. You have to grind for this. I grind hours for this, right? But what you're going to have is the next best thing, and that's the Tamer. I don't think I have a Tamer on me. It's a purple gun. I have to check my inventory. Let me see if I got one on me. Right? So when you go through story, there's a gun called the Tamer, and the Tamer is basically a bossing weapon. You want to pair that with your Bunny. So now your Bunny skills do the AoE damage, and the Tamer does the what you call it, the bossing damage. So that way you're completely conquering most of the content. I'm just checking in here first. I don't think I got a Tamer though. I don't think I got the Tamer. If you don't got the Tamer, just pick any gun. I mean, use the Thunder Cage until you get the Tamer, if that makes sense. So I don't have a Tamer inside here. I don't think I have one inside. I ditched it. I think wait, did I ditch the Tamer? No, look, I got it here still. Okay, so this is the Tamer. Alright, so let me take it out. Let me equip it so you can get to see it. I thought I ditched this gun, but I guess I didn't. Alright, that's nice. So this is the Tamer. You want to get this gun. As you progress through the story, you're going to get this gun. You pair this gun with your Bunny. Bunny, her skills are going to kill the little bugs that spawn around you, the mobbing, and that gun is going to do the boss killing. And that's how you get a complete character. And you're going to push, and you're going to push, and you're going to push until you get to hard mode. So let's say you push, You beat the story, you have the tamer, you've been grouping up with random people, you've been playing with people in the Discord, you asked me for help and I helped you, and boom, you beat the story. Now you unlock hard. What do you do when you unlock hard? Well, this is what you need to do. So a lot of things, a lot of farming in this game revolves around the hard bosses, right? A lot of farming. So if you click on one of this boss, you see that you have these little amorphous materials. I call them eggs, right? So you have these amorphous materials. So basically, every time you kill the boss, you get a chance to open one of these things. And when you open them, they have little goodies inside, and they have a percentage chance of which you get those goodies. So 6% for the ultimate Vanessa, 10% for a gun, 20% for a crystal catalyst, 32% for a lepic, a regular lepic, and the smithereens 32%. So you see that you have a chance of getting one of these 5 items when you hatch this egg, when you break this egg, and the only way to break this egg is to kill this boss. But that's the problem. First Descendant suffers from a chicken and an egg loop. Which one comes first, the chicken or the egg? It's like an infinite loop, because think about it. To get stronger, you need to kill this boss to open up these materials. But to kill this boss, you need to be stronger. So what new players run into a lot is that when they beat hard mode, they can't beat these bosses. These bosses are super tough. These bosses are destroying them. It's unreal how tough these bosses are. So they can't get stronger. Well, my friend, that is where the grind comes in, and this is my recommendation for the grind. You're going to look at a lot of different people, and they're going to have a lot of different recommendations. This is my recommendation. It worked for me, and it gave me the easiest time through the game, so it's going to work for you, right? The first thing you do after you beat the story is you begin to farm your first ultimate descendant. And who should your first ultimate descendant be? Should it be this lovely lady here called Ultimate Bunny who has the cake? No. No. Not her. You already have a bunny with cake. You don't need more cake, right? Too much cake will give you diabetes. You don't need all that cake. You don't need this Ultimate Bunny plus a regular bunny. No. What you need is this dude. Boom, shakalaki. See this dude? Ultimate Lepic? That's the guy you gotta go for. That is the guy you have to go for. Why? Why, monster? Why should I go for Ultimate Lepic? Right? He's a dude. Right? That's why. Look at what I named this guy. This guy is called Boss Killer. This is my thief. This is my farmer. These guys farm stones for me. General, I use her for everything, but this guy, Boss Killer. And I am going to show you an example of that boss killing. So if I haven't sold you on Ultimate Lepic, this is the dude you gotta get. So we're going to let's go into hard, and I hope I don't mess this up. And let's go. We could do executioner. We could do every single boss here, but except these guys, because you have to co-op on these guys. But the single player ones, you could do every single one. Let's go Devour. Do I have X for Devour? No, I don't. I ain't got no X for Devour. All right, so let's go executioner. And you're starting private. So I'm soloing this boss. I am not playing in a group of random people that will cause me to lose. I am playing by myself. Look at what Ultimate Lepic does to this boss. My friends, if I had known this sooner, oh my god. I farmed for a whole bunch of other descendants before I decided to go for Lepic. That was a mistake. Go for Ultimate Lepic now. And now, stop what you're doing, right, and just go get this guy. So what? I hit the ultimate. Oh, I missed that shot. And what? I can't even play this, right? a lot of people will look at me and say, dude, you play like crap. Look at what other, this is a hard mode boss. That's a hard mode boss. And I'm the shittiest player in this game. I'm the shittiest player in this game. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That was a hard mode boss. Let's see the time. Let's see the time, baby. 12 seconds. It took me 12 seconds with an ultimate Lepic to annihilate this boss. Oh my god. You know what that means? Think about it from a time perspective ratio, right? Imagine you spend 20 minutes to kill one, no, that's my bad. You can't spend 20 minutes. Imagine you spend 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes to kill one boss. And in that same time, Lepic does it in, I want this thing in the middle here. That's what I'm clicking. I shouldn't use this because I want this thing in the middle. Alright, so let's see if we get it. No, we didn't get it, but whatever. Right? So, dude, with Lepic, you are hyper farming. You are breaking this game to the point where you can solo the content. You don't need nobody's help. You don't need no booty. You is the booty. Right? Boom. So once you get your ultimate Lepic, and once you begin to invest into your ultimate Lepic, let's go to my modules. Once you begin to invest into your ultimate Lepic, I'm not even using like the red one. I'm not even using any of these because he's so OP. Like it doesn't make sense giving him one of these, right? But once you invest in your ultimate Lepic, you're going to be clearing content so fast, you'll be able to farm anything you want to farm. And that's the point. That's the point. So, while we're on Ultimate Lepic, how do you begin? So when you get Ultimate Lepic, so mine is completely decked out, right? You're not going to get them decked out, you're just going to get these things, right? The ones you really need for damage is, the main ones you need is the, wait, let me go back here. Right, so it'll be easier for me to say which ones you need because you don't need all of this, right? You don't need all of this, right? The skill extension, you could do without that. Maximize duration, you level up that. Technician, you don't need that, I guess. Fire specialist, you level up that. Skill insight, critical hit rate, you need that, you level up that. So 1, 2, 3. Skill concentrate, you need that, level up that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 should be enough. Probably like front lines, but 1, 2, 3, 4 should be enough for at least for you to 2-tap the boss. And what do I mean by 2-tap? So let me give you an example. Alright, because it's better to show you than so let's go on hard and let's do Devour this time, even though I ain't got no eggs. Right, so let's start private. So what do I mean by 2-tap? I'm gonna show you. So this is, it's like a little Lepic guide inside of the guide. Right, so alright, and you don't need much. You don't need much. Basically 4 modules. I'm going to show you the main thing you need with him, the one thing you absolutely need with him, right? But everything else is optional. So let's 2-tap this boss. Even though I could 1-tap him, I'm going to show you what you do to basically 2-tap. So come here, we hit the square, we roll, and we begin to shoot. So this is horrible, by the way, right? I'm incensed, right? So let's say we stop shooting. I could have killed him there. He survived. So now he's going to get enraged. Wait, I think this would have been the wrong boss to show you on. Yeah, this would have been the wrong boss. Yeah. This was a poor boss for the example, but alright, whatever. So anyway, you use your super and the boss did not die, what you simply do is you jump off the edge. You jump off the edge, you die, and what does that do? It gives you back instant stamina. So now that you have your stamina back, you can simply do the move again. So activate it, roll, and then shoot, and hopefully I kill it this time. Yeah, and he's dead. So that's how you two-tap a boss with Lepic. You use your ultimate once, go jump off a bridge, go jump off the cliff, and then you come back and you use your ultimate again. And if he survives the second tap, you could go jump off again and then do it a third time. Now, if he doesn't survive, if he survives the third time, you could try to just kill him outright with your gun, or you could just reset. It means you're not strong enough and you need to get power some other way, right? That's that. But basically, you want to farm your first ultimate descendant after you beat the game on normal. You want to farm Lepic. So let's get out of here and let me show you how I farmed the Lepic. And Lepic to me was one of the easiest farms in the game, for me personally. However, it's random, so for you it could be hell, but for me it was easy. Right, so I have it lined up here. Let's go to access info. Boom, these are the materials I farmed for Lepic. So you just came out of hard, you're unable to beat bosses because you got to beat bosses to open some of these eggs, right? But you can't beat the bosses because you're not strong enough to beat them. All you got is a bunny with an HP and a defense bar and a tamer, right? But you're strong enough to beat some bosses, and those are the bosses we are targeting. So if we go to this amorphous material and we go tracking on, to get this amorphous material, right, 61, you have to come here to this thing and you have to hack it. Now, this one is the hardest one to get. And the reason why is because you have to hack it. You can't hack it. Right? You don't have Sharon to hack it. You just came out of hard mode. Well, that's where friends come in. Sometimes you just go here. So let's try and do it. And hopefully you meet a Sharon there who's farming it. Right? Sometimes you meet Sharon there. Sometimes there's other players who's trying to hack it. You go with them. Right? But if you're doing it solo, you're going to have to get Sharon. Right, and that's a whole other grind. It's going to take up a lot of time, right? So we're trying to cut down on the time. So around this point you should be getting some friends. I have Sharon, so you could, if you want to play, you could add me and we could get Sharon together. Right, so if I come here, there's nobody on the map. There's no Sharon on the map, right? So it doesn't make sense I do it because there's no Sharon on the map. I can't get the Lepic stabilizer, so I'm going to try and keep resetting. I'm going to try and keep reloading the map until I get a Sharon player who's farming. But this one is the hardest one. You need to get Sharon. When I did it, I farmed Sharon in the beginning, so that's how I got it. But there were many times I went there and there were other Sharons farming too. So for those of you who might know, let me just clarify what I mean by you need Sharon. If I go to presets, Sharon basically has the ability to hack the terminals, and when you hack them, you get additional rewards. Right? So that's basically it. She's the only descendant that could do that in the game, so you need her for that purpose. Right? I did not build mine up, I didn't level her up, I didn't invest in her, I just unlocked her and used her for that purpose. Let's load into the map. Let's load into the map and see if oh my god, I'm getting my controls mixed up. Okay, right. So let's load it back into the map and let's see if there's another player on standby that we could play with. So this one is the hardest one. You're going to need Sharon. You're going to need that egg that you get from that. And it has a 10% chance of unlocking the Lepic stabilizer. I'll show you guys that when I'm done here. I'll show you that. Let's check the map. Okay, there's nobody here. So if there's nobody grinding it, there's a guy up here. Is it? No, it's not a Sharon. Right? But there's a guy up there, but there's nobody here. Okay, so I think I'm ranting now, so let's get back. So let me get back down. Okay, so what am I doing? Whew. It's a lot of information, guys. I'm trying to communicate it in a way that makes sense and it's understandable, right? Whew. So you let me stop playing with Ultimate Epic because you won't have him at this point. Nah, it doesn't matter. That's a small detail. All right, so back to the eggs. So these are the parts you need. These are the parts you need. You need this yellow part, and this yellow part. And the reason why I'm ignoring the other parts is because they're so easy to get, it's irrelevant to even talk about them. Right? You could just look up a guide and get these parts like nothing. The hardest parts to get is this, and this. So this was the first one I was talking about where you need Sharon to hack the terminal. Now, you don't need to do that alone. So if you go to acquisition, we see that this one is where you need Sharon to hack. This one you need Sharon to hack. No, this one you might need Sharon to hack, but it's a low drop rate, so I don't recommend it. This one you need Sharon to hack as well. So these two you need Sharon to hack. This one you don't need Sharon to hack, but it's a low drop rate, so I don't think it's worth it. Right? It's like a 3% drop rate, whereas this one is a 10% drop rate. So, depending on your power level and depending on what you could do, you might want to consider this one. Right? However, I did it on this one. I did it on this one. That's how I did it. Right? And I wasn't OP, I wasn't strong. I just farmed Sharon. I went in there with an unupgraded Sharon and I was able to get this one. Right? So that's how I did it. So now let's move on to this one, the enhanced cell. How do you get the enhanced cell? What do I recommend for the enhanced cell? I recommend this one. Right? So again, this one you have to do an outpost on hard. It's pattern 74. But when you go to the outpost, as you can see, you don't need Sharon to hack to get that 74 pattern. You need Sharon to hack to get the 75 at the bottom, and right, I might highlight it when I'm editing this video, right, if I edit. That's another story. Anyway, so you don't need Sharon to get 74. So basically you come to this mission, you load in here or you load in here, you run across here and you complete this mission a bunch of times until you get like at least 10, 5, 7, 8, it doesn't matter, of the 74s. You open them over here. Where do you open them? I think you open them over here. Basically you come to this point, you kill a boss, you use the void shards. If you want to farm the void shards, you have bunny. So all you simply do is you look for an electric thing like this, void fragment, that gives off the shard you're looking for. So you don't need multiple elements in this game. The game kind of tricks you into thinking you need multiple elements. I didn't do that. I had Bunny's electric element, so I just looked for a void fragment mission that was electric, that gave me the item I was looking for. That's all I did. And I recommend you do the same too. So you get this here, you open it here, you get Lepic. You get that material. Now these two are purple. Purple means you're farming them on normal mode. Why did I choose to farm these two on normal mode? Well, that's a good question. Let's answer that question. Because to get this pattern on hard mode, you have to defeat bosses. And those bosses are difficult. And you just came out of hard mode, you might not be able to defeat those bosses. So why not grind it on easy? So when we look at easy mode, right, you grind this mission over and over until you get the amorphous pattern 1, and then you open a bunch. But Doesn't easy mode mean that you have a less drop rate? Yes, it does. So if we come on amorphous pattern 1, let's type in 1, you have a 3% chance of getting a stabilizer. Damn, that's low. You know what? But it's accessible. Now, if you got a friend that's able to beat the hard mode bosses, then grind that. If you are strong enough to beat the hard mode bosses consistently, then do that. But if you cannot defeat the hard mode bosses, if you ain't got no buddies to help you out, this is your best shot. You could do this solo, it's easy, and there's a 15% chance of getting a catalyzation catalyst, which is something you're going to need to make your descendant stronger. So I did it this way because I didn't have anybody. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any guys, OP whiz or OP grinders like myself to help me at that point in time. So I chose to do this on my own. I was able to grind out a whole bunch of these things in like a couple of, let's say, an hour. And then I was able to open a whole bunch of these things in an hour, and I eventually got the 3% drop. Now, is 3% really small? Yes. And is there a chance you might not be able to get it? Yes. However, that's what I did, and I got it. And if you're unable to beat the hard mode bosses, I recommend you do it. And that's for these two parts, because let's come back to Lepic again. These two here, right? Let's go to acquire. You have to beat hard executioner. If you can't do that, it's not worth it. You have to beat hard obstructor. If you can't beat him, it's not worth it. I couldn't beat these two bosses. I had no one to help me. Randoms, I kept failing, so I did it this way. Plain and simple. Same thing with this one, right? You have to beat hard Dead Bride. I could not have done that at the time when I got here. You have to beat hard Pyromantic. I could not have done that by the time I got here. So I did this one because I could beat this one. I was able to complete this on my own without any help, without bothering anybody. I was able to do this one. So I ignored these two and I did this one. However, if you're able to do these bosses, if you have a friend that's able to beat these bosses for you, then do these bosses, right? But that's how I farmed Ultimate Lepic. After I farmed Ultimate Lepic, what's the next step when you farm Ultimate Lepic? You take all of this item here. Do I have any? I'm not sure if I have any. Let's see if I... Enhancement material. Yes, I got 3. So you take this thing here, which is the end game grind of this game. You take that and you use it on your Lepic. Oh, I'm all over the place with these menus, man. You use it on your Lepic, and what that does is basically you fill in these blocks. These empty blocks you get to put a socket type, one of these socket types, in that using this thing. You use all of that on your Ultimate Lepic, and you build up your Ultimate Lepic to the point where you're 3 seconds in a boss, where you're 12 seconds in a boss. Once you get your Lepic to that point, my builds, I'm sure there are sweaty players out there who could tell you the problems with my build. However, it's working for me. It gets the job done, and I'm not that bothered by my build, right? It's working. That's the main thing. It's working. Okay, so this is the build I got. I invested all of my resources into Lepic, and I got the reason why it's green is because I socketed a slot. There's a lot of things to explain, but basically this is, let's use an example like this is 12. If I put it on the same slot, it becomes half value. So let's change that with that. So now it's 6, right? So that's basically what you're doing, and right, that's basically what you're doing. Okay, and you get your Lepic stronger. I could make like a separate video going into more details about these stuff, although there are thousands of them online. So I mean, it's not the information is not hard to find. To finish your Lepic build, this is one of the main things you need on your Lepic build. You need a gun with green rounds, impact rounds. You need that. The game gives you one for free. That's this handgun. That's why I'm using it. And you need to slot these mods. These two are completely pointless. I just put them there because. But these two are the main ones you need. You need sharp precision shot. You need fire rate up. This is the reason why he shoots so much suns at the boss. I call it suns, right? This is the reason why I'm able to shoot so much suns at the boss is because of these two upgrades, right? So once you get these two upgrades on a impact round gun, you're going to be rapid firing your ultimate, and all you need to do after that is boost damage by giving Lepic the right modules to boost damage. And I think I already highlighted the damage ones, right? You could check and see there are better guides out there than what I'm explaining, right? So you could get the information, right? These things here, they come in time. Just use whichever ones you got. I have Lepic with the Slayer. I was able to farm the Slayer. The stats on the Slayer is not that good. As you can see, it's not that good, not that good, not that good, not that good, whatever. Doesn't matter, right? You could look up videos on like how to mini-max this area of the game. I still don't completely understand it, so I haven't mini-maxed it yet, but I mean, alright, look, I mean my my fire reactor has electrical skill boost ratio. It's like, that's a useless stat, right? Right, I'm still looking for a better one. I only keep it because it has damage to Colossal, which is the bosses, so I'm keeping it because of that, but I need a better one too, right? So you can minimax all of that. So now you've reached the end game. So you've beaten hard mode, you've farmed and you've acquired your ultimate Lepic, you've dumped all your resources into your ultimate Lepic. What do I do now? Well, that's the end game of this game. So basically your journey now is to farm and unlock other Descendants and to farm and unlock other weapons. So I farmed and unlocked the Enduring Legacy because I like that gun. I like machine guns, and this is the strongest machine gun in the game. So this was the one I farmed, right? I farmed 4 copies of it, so it's completely maxed out. That's how I spent my end game. And I also upgraded like a lot of the stuff in it. I'm still missing these 2 slots. So if you come here, see, I'm still missing these 2 slots. So I'm still in the process of maxing this weapon, right? It's not perfect yet. It still has flaws. It still has things to be done, right? So that's what I'm in. That's the end game. And what I also did was I farmed Ultimate Bunny. So if we come here, I use Ultimate Lepic to farm Ultimate Bunny. Because I was able to kill the bosses, open the eggs, the amorphous materials, and I was able to get Bunny, right? And that's your end game. So now any Descendant that I want, I could now grind for, because I have Ultimate Lepic to grind for those characters. And if I need resources, I have Ultimate Bunny to grind for those resources. So now I have 2 boss killing and farming right at my disposal. I have basically come full circle and can complete every content this game has to offer. If it has farming in it, I use Bunny. If it has bossing in it, I use Lepic. You can even use Lepic for farming too. And that's the cool thing about Lepic. You can use him for farming. He's basically an all-rounder character. He could be a good farmer, he could be a good mobber, and he could be a good bosser. The dude is on drugs, man. The dude is on steroids. I am so glad they haven't nerfed this guy, and I pray to God that they don't nerf him, because if they nerf Lepic, I'm stop playing this game. He makes the grind so much easier, you won't believe it. And then I get my booty, I got my cake, I got some more cake with her, I got some cake with her, I got some bread with her. I didn't think she got cake, but she got some. I ain't sure what it is, but
Your mom was safe here no matter
she
what.
got the weed she says you in the back of the school. Yeah, that's what she got. Right? Right. And that's it. And that's it. That is my guide. Guys, if you're watching this and you managed to make it this far, thank you. Please give me a like and a subscribe. I am not, I don't really upload too often, but when I do upload, I do enjoy doing it. So, no, a little support, a little encouragement would be great. Share any tips in the comments, anything that you disagree with, and yeah, and that'd be great. I wanted to put in a little trophy guide at the end here, so if you made it this far to the trophy guide, good. Let's talk about a trophy. There are only 3 trophies in this game that are difficult to get. Everything else you're going to get naturally, and everything else is self-explanatory. The 3 difficult ones you're going to get is you have to unlock 5 Descendants. Again, that's not going to be hard once you have Ultimate Lepic. He is going to unlock all the Descendants for you, right? So that trophy is pretty much in the bag once you have Ultimate Lepic. Now, this is the interesting one. This. You have to use 10 of this on a Descendant or a gun. It doesn't matter where you use it, but you have to use 10 of these for a trophy. Right. These things are hard to get. These things are extremely hard to get. It's the end game grind of this game. So you have 2 options. If you're just in it for the platinum, ignore everything about Lepic. Use this on whichever Descendant you want. Get your platinum and move on with your life. Right? However, if you intend to play this game long term, I won't advise using these resources on regular Descendants. Right? So I did not use it on a regular Descendant. I waited till I got Ultimate Lepic and then I used it on him. Right? Now, you don't have, it doesn't matter where you use it. The trophy doesn't care where you use it. I am just recommending that if you plan to play this game long term, use it on a Ultimate Descendant. I used it on Ultimate Lepic, Ultimate Bunny, and the Enduring Legacy. And I plan to use it on the Thunder Cage as well. If you don't care about this game in the long term, just use 10. The game gives you 2 free, so you're going to have to farm 8 of these. And once you farm 8 of these, you get the trophy. So those are the 2 hardest trophies to get in the game. Those are the only 2 difficult ones. The rest of them is self-explanatory. If you read the description, they tell you what they want you to do. The game gives you the resources to be able to do them. This is the only one you have to grind out, and the Descendants are the only one you have to grind out. Once you do those 2 trophies, the platinum's in your head. You can say that the entire weight of the platinum of this game is on those 2 trophies, and it's not that hard, because again, once I got the Ultimate Lepic and I was able to kill a boss in like 6 seconds, farming the other Descendants was basically like it wasn't even difficult. I think I farmed like 2 Descendants in one day. It was that easy, right? So that is it. That is it. We are finally at the end. Thank you for watching this far, and I will see you guys later. Like, subscribe, and that was a lot. That was a lot. Later.